So hello. So tonight, welcome to our first episode of The Fuse, officially starting on January 13th, 2020. So excited, right? Because I've been wanting to do this for a few years. Just never got around to recording it, but I just think it's so interesting because people want to know what's hot, what's not in our local real estate market, and some people really want to know also what's happening on the national level in real estate as people are talking about a pending recession and the gloom and doom of what might come, right? And so tonight we're going to talk all things real estate. Who am I? I'm Garlinda Price. I'm the owner of Fusion Properties LLC, along with my amazing husband. Shout out to Marvin Price Jr., who is our Chief Operating Officer. And together, we own this amazing company from the capital to the coast. We want to be your realtor for life. And so we market properties and work with buyers, sellers, residential investors, commercial investors, all the way from Raleigh, all the way down to where the tip of North Carolina touches South Carolina down in Brunswick County. And so we can help you in any areas in between that we don't service. We have an amazing network of referral broker partners that we can connect you with. We have lender partners that we work with as well. So we're super excited to be your brokerage of choice. And so tonight I want to talk about what's hot, what's not in real estate. So we're going to start with the national news and what they're talking about for a pending recession, or what the housing market is looking like, what's going to be driving it, what could potentially slow it down. And then we're going to talk about our local market, because real estate is super local. It's hyper local, right? Even though there's a national market, everything is driven locally in each individual market. That's why, like in 2006 to 2008, trickling over into 2009, some markets were slower to be affected by the recession. In 2005, some markets were slower to be affected by foreclosures and short sales. Like, it really hit our market later, although it hit other markets sooner. So it really depends on what part of the country you're in and what drives real estate in your market. So we're going to talk about that. I happen to be in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Shout out to the 82nd Airborne, right? We are home to Fort Bragg, which is the largest military base in the country. So we're super excited about that. Home of the free, right? Land of the free, home of the brave. I think that's how you say it. But nevertheless, so let's talk national real estate news. And so what I want to share with you is right now they're projecting growth in 2020 in our real estate market. And this information is coming from, let me get this gentleman's name right, Lawrence Yun. And so he's the chief economist for Realtor magazine. And so I want to be sharing with you what he is sharing with us as the National Association of Realtors, or a part of the National Association of Realtors, of what's going to take place in the market in 2020. So right now it's saying 2020 economic outlook, slower growth, but how slow? A recession isn't in the cards as long as the trade war with China doesn't escalate. So who is excited about that? Whoop, whoop, no recession. China, United States, y'all get yourselves together, right? It says it's hard to avoid recession chatter these days, right? Because fueling such talk has been a slowdown in the pace of real estate in 2019. He goes on to say that the widespread expectation that the long-running economic expansion, which began in June 2009, is nearing its end. The economy is expected to grow modestly. So on average, since 100 years ago, real estate grows on average anywhere from 2% to 3%. That is healthy growth. And so he's saying that we're going to continue that pattern of a 2.2% growth rate as an economy overall in the United States. It says in 2020, barely higher than the projected growth of 2.1% in 2019, and slower than the 2.9% growth and expansion that we had in 2018, when the economy got an initial boost from tax cuts and the Jobs Act. So Lawrence Young is saying we expect 2020 will be a year of slower growth, but not a recession year. Who's excited about that? I am, right? It says, however, an all-out trade war would lead to an economic downturn in nearly every country, including the U.S. That's why I said China and the United States. Y'all work it out. Come on, come to the table. Let's come to an agreement, right? It says unemployment is going to stay low. Super excited about that. That's really cool because more people are working. More people working means more jobs. More jobs means more spending. It also means more economic growth. So that is huge. It also says that mortgage rates to sustain housing demand. Mr. Young says we don't foresee the Fed raising the federal funds rates in 2020. A rate cut of at least 25 basis points in early 2020 is the likely scenario, says Young. With the Fed maintaining a low interest rate policy, the 30 year fixed mortgage rate is expected to average 3.8% this year. Give me a break. Y'all better get out here and buy some houses. That is like a great interest rate, right? It says rates for 15-year fixed mortgages are also trending downward from 3.4% to 3.1%. So we talked in the past about doing a 15-year mortgage or a 30-year mortgage. We're not going to focus on that tonight, but we will do another show talking about that and which one would be best for you potentially. Not giving advice, just sharing information. Low mortgage rates make purchasing a home more affordable, especially among the 46.5 million 25 to 34-year-olds who made up last year's largest segment of home buyers. Shout out to you guys for making home growth in that market and for having your first home, right? Marvin and I owned our first home. We were 27. And so don't wait until you're older. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you can benefit from home ownership when you're younger and then grow into old age with that, right? Older age. Given the existing conditions, home sales, existing and new homes combined, are expected to increase by a little over 4%. From 6 million in 2019 to 6.3 million in 2020. Number 3, modest improvement in home supply or housing supply. It says lack of housing inventory has been the primary constraint on the housing market. The housing supply is expected to improve this year, thank God. So more inventory available. But I will say that it's not a horrible thing when there's a shortage of inventory, because that means there's a seller's market, right? Because as demand drives up growth and supply is limited, that drives up home prices, which is better for a seller. When there's an oversupply of inventory, that means that it's a buyer's market because it drives the price down and the buyer is able to get a better deal. So that's really good. So it says the housing supply is expected to improve this year, with housing starts expecting to hit 1.42 million, up from 1.27 million last year. Still, the new supply will not meet the demand that will be created in 2020 by new household formations, estimated at 1.2 million. It says, and demolished or obsolete housing estimated at about 450,000. So ramping up housing construction will continue to be central in improving home affordability. So as an industry, we are still behind on housing supply. So it's still a great time for sellers to sell. That's what I hear. That's what I hear him saying, right? Because for buyers, there's a shortage of inventory, so there's not as much to choose from. But what you do have to choose from is going to be a little bit more expensive, right? It's going to have an increase of 2.2%. And so you want to get in now where you're not overpaying for properties. Okay, so let's talk about our local market. What happened in the Fayetteville, North Carolina market? And this includes, I'm only talking about Cumberland County. And what we'll do is we'll break it down in another video by counties. I've broken Cumberland County down by zip code, so that way the video is not so long. So last year in Cumberland County, this is what our market looked like. And so pricing wise, the highest selling and the most highest performing price range was which one? $50,000 to $99,999. So that was the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home that outpaced and outsold. There were 1,009 of those that sold last year. Coming in second to that were homes ranging from $120,000 to $140,000. 441 of those sold last year. And then trailing that one, or actually ahead of that one, was $120,000 to $140,000. Let's go back. I feel like I'm jamming that up. Let's start over, right? So y'all bear with me. It's my first episode of The Fuse. So the highest selling class of property was the properties priced from $50,000 to $100,000. So 799 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes sold last year from January 1st to today. $120,000 to $139,000, so basically $140,000. 452 of those homes sold. I'm going to share with you what that means. And then from $100,000 to $120,000, 441 of those properties sold. What does that tell you? If you have a home listed and you go and put your home on the market anywhere from $50,000 to $140,000, you're 9 times out of 10 your property is going to sell, because that's the sweet spot. That's where people want to be. I'm going to share with you that the average selling price in the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes was $129,000, and so that's a really great average. That is someone that says, okay, I can come into the market and for $130,000 I can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in Cumberland County. That's really great. The number one financing category was cash. That is so crazy, right? So 998 units sold cash, and then conventional was 966 units, which that is amazing to me. And why do I say that? Because not a lot of people, you would think, have cash to purchase homes. So that tells me that those were either a lot of investors or people decided that they were going to take cash that they had saved up and purchase a home versus taking out a loan. And then it tells me that the people that went conventional, that 966 people said, I'm willing to put 5% down so that I don't have, or 20% down so I potentially don't have private mortgage insurance. I'm going to put down a little bit more so that I can get a better rate with purchasing the home, and I don't have to have as high of a monthly payment. Now, the number one outpacing loan type in our market, you all guessed it, I just said we're home of the 82nd Airborne, right? Was VA. 2,555 veterans purchased a new home last year here in Cumberland County. Super excited about that. And so we just really have a healthy real estate market. So I want to share with you what's hot, what's not. Let's talk about these zip codes, right? And this is no slight on any zip code, right? I'm just sharing with you the numbers, so I don't want you like sending me hate mail, right? So let's start with 28314. That's one of my favorite zip codes, right? So in the 28314 zip code, all I did was go from November to today, because it only really matters what's happening in 30-day increments, 60-day increments, and 90-day increments. Nothing past 6 months, other than the reason we went back for a year was just for you to see trends. So here it is from November to today. There have been 38 cash sales in the 28314 zip code, 35 conventional sales, 21 FHA sales, and 74 veterans have used their VA loan to purchase a property in the 28314 zip code. The average 3-bedroom home is selling for $116,000. That's pretty cool. And 119 of those sold. So that tells me that if you have at least a 3-bedroom home, that people want that, right? That's what people are looking for. The trends are saying that people want a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. And in the 28314 zip code, of the sales that took place, 46 of those that sold over in 28314 zip code were 4-bedroom properties, and the average price was $186,000. So if you have a home in the 28314 zip code and you're thinking about selling, on average, the average sales price over there off of the Cliffdale Road area, Redford Road side of town, $186,000. It might be time for you to give me a call, 910-494-7798, right? Fusion Properties. So let's talk about 28348. That is a really great zip code as well. So we all know that's the Hope Mills, Grays Creek area. And so from November 1 of 2019 to today, there were 60 sales that were at least 3 bedrooms, and the average price is $140,000. So that tells you that over in Hope Mills, they're able to garner a higher sales price than the 28314 zip code, and they're really like literally right there beside one another. But get this, a 4-bedroom home in Hope Mills, 56 of those sold, and the average price for a 4-bedroom home was $222,000. So Hope Mills, y'all are like working it with your real estate market, right? And then it says that of all the sales that took place, 69 of those were VA. So the military is really showing up and showing out to use their VA to purchase their home. I'm super excited about that. There were 15 cash sales, 16 conventional, and 15 that were FHA. And what's weird is there were only 2 that were USDA. We talked about USDA in a video last year or the year before last, and I was sharing with you all the different loan types. We're going to do that again this year in 2020. And what's really cool about the USDA loan is it stands for U.S. Department of Agriculture. The reason why there were probably so few in Hope Mills is because the USDA has begun to shrink their lines. That means that you genuinely have to be in an agricultural area or the area be considered agricultural in order to use that type of loan. And Hope Mills now has become like suburbia, so it doesn't necessarily qualify like it used to. But it does still include Hope County and Harnett County. It possibly includes Lee County. We have to check on that, right? So the next zip code is 28306. Shout out to the Jack Brits of the world, right? That includes part of that area. It also includes part of Fayetteville that touches over off of 301. So 28306 is a pretty large zip code. It also touches close to right up to where Hope Mills is as well before the line becomes Hope Mills. And so a 3-bedroom home that sold out there was 74 sales in the 28306 zip code from November to today. The average price is $144,000. So it's so funny how close it is to Hope Mills that their average price for a 3-bedroom home is the same. But get this, in 28306, the average price for a 4-bedroom home is $265,000. So if that's an area that you want to be in, I only see that price continuing to go up because that is a very desirable zip code. Everybody wants to be there because of the schools. And so those home prices we just heard, I just read to you where Lawrence Young, the chief economist for the Realtors Association, said that home prices are going to be going up by 2.2%. Even the slightest change in that, that's a lot. That's almost $5,000, well, $5,800. So if you're looking to be over in 28306, you're going to want to call me. So let's keep talking about real estate. What's hot, what's not. There were 93 VA sales over in 28306. 22 were cash, 16 conventional, 12 were FHA. Let's talk about 28301. Right? So 28301, that's over by Fayetteville State. That's everything downtown. Touches over by Pamela, over off a country club. That's a 28301 zip code. So it's really strange to me that these were slower sales, right? And that's been the trend over the last few years. But the north side of Fayetteville, we're starting to see some growth. We're going to talk about a few commercial indicators in a second. But just want to share with you that right here over off of 28301 in that zip code, the average price was $94,000, right? And then the average price for a 4-bedroom home was $75,000. So this is just saying that from November of last year to today, there have not been a lot of sales over in the 28301 zip code. That's not to say that we don't have sales on the north side of town, but that is a slower selling zip code in comparison to the other ones, right? So currently there are 49 active units over here in 28301 on this side of town. I'm in 28311, but I'm near 28301. The average price right now of active properties is $152,000. So things are looking up. We do have a lot of new construction on the north side of town, specifically over 28301. I think it's called Northridge Plantation. Some great looking homes over there, brand new construction, and just a lot of growth happening from the time you hit Country Club on down Ramsey Street. We'll talk about that. So that's what's going on in 28301. And then 28312, I think I forgot to pull up 28311. Let me pull that up right quick before we go out to Eastover. So let me generate a report right quick. 28312. Again, I love Eastover. It's one of my favorite places. I don't know why. I just feel like I'm going out of town when I go to Eastover, right? But 28312, that is Deep Creek Road, Cedar Creek Road, Eastover, going out towards Stedman. This is that market. And so 3-bedroom homes, the average price $130,000. They had 29 sales from November of last year to today. The average price, though, for a 4-bedroom home out there in 28312, there were 34 sales, was $259,000. That's pretty cool. And one thing I want to share with you is that area is really growing by leaps and bounds. So much new construction out there, so many great floor plans to choose from. Give me a call. I would love to schedule time to just give you a tour of what's going out there. Eastover really has some beautiful floor plans and some amazing communities that are out there. There were 39 VA sales, 13 cash, 5 conventional, 7 FHA in the last 3 months. So 28311, Here's our side of town. This is the north side of Fayetteville. In case you have not been to the north side of Fayetteville, it is growing by leaps and bounds. Like there is something popping up and coming up. So when you see commercial coming to a certain area, commercial and residential, they go hand in hand, and so that tells you that is a key indicator of growth. When you notice that an area has new businesses that are coming in, then those businesses and that commercial is driving the residential real estate. That's why you see so much building taking place of apartments and townhomes and houses. And so over here in 28311, the average price, there were 71 homes that sold in the last 3 months that were 3 bedrooms. The average price was $134,000. Of the 4-bedroom homes that sold, the average price was $236,000. And then there were 59 VA sales, 28 conventional, 15 cash. And so you know that they just opened up that new section of Cliffdale Road, which is super cool. And so now that that section of Cliffdale Road is opened up, I mean, we can get to that side of town just like that. Who remembers that coming from Rayford Road side of town over here to Ramsey Street was like going out of town? You needed to pack a lunch and 2 snacks, right? So just to let you know that also heading out towards Hope Mills Road, I think that's 59, which is Hope Mills Road out there when you get off of 95. I forget what exit that is. I want to say it's exit 59, but I'm not sure. But I know it's to 59. It's Chickenfoot Road. The Tanger Outlet is said to be coming out there. The Kangaroo gas station is going to be huge. It's going to be like a truck plaza, like a truck stop. And so you notice that they've torn down the Kangaroo gas station because they're building all these pumps. They've put a roundabout out there. There's so much new construction. Dirtbag Ale is out there, which is an amazing ale house. They make home brew. So many great things that are taking place on that side of town. Over here on the north side of town, we have a Sheetz coming over here. They're talking about a Harris Teeter, which I haven't seen yet, right? And so just so many amazing things that are taking place in our local real estate market. So I just wanted to share with you this episode of The Fuse. I pray that it was beneficial to you of what's to come in 2020. Now is the time for you to get your home, get it sold. Let's sell your home for you to buy a new one, for you to move out of the area, whatever you want to do. If you're looking to own a commercial space, we're going to do a separate video on commercial. If you're looking for land, we're going to talk about land and what it entails to do that. And if you're thinking about buying a home and you're not sure if you should do a pre-sale or if you should do a custom built home, there's a video coming up in the next couple of weeks where we're going to be doing a comparison of pre-sale and custom built. One is not like the other, right? So I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode of The Fuse. Again, I'm Garlinda Price. I'm the owner of Fusion Properties LLC. Give me a call, 910-494-7798. And regardless of who has the home listed, whether it's a sale by owner, a builder, another brokerage company, we can help you with that property. We are licensed North Carolina brokers. From the capital to the coast, we want to be your realtor for life. Talk to you soon.